Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shanghai, welcome back to the Warcraft 3 World Championships, the Gold Championship Series. This is the last game of the day. This is the decision in Group A. Infi versus Chaemiko. It is a human mirror. Infi is not switching to Orc, we got that confirmed, so that's out of the question. But the question still is, will Chaemiko finally be able to win a human mirror? He is 0-14 against TH. He's 2-11 against Infi. And Infi has so much more experience in everything.
Yeah, actually in the last Rust Brain qualifier, it was Chaemiko versus Hawk, where we saw interesting games, but pretty one-sided games in the end. Like, Chaemiko likes going tier 3, he likes to take it later, but you do fall behind in that kind of game, and especially when you do it all the time, it's really no surprise anymore. It doesn't bode well for him, to say the very least.
He needs a surprise, for sure. I feel he needs something that Infi doesn't expect, but what can you do to Infi that he does not expect? He is around since more than a decade, a former World Elite player, second generation World Elite player, multiple time world champion. He's been everywhere, and on top of everywhere.
And regardless of what you play, Infi's probably played it before. It's a very tough ask here for him. It all looks like the two favorites will be making it out. Only 2-0 so far today. Our first map will be Echo Isles.
Pretty straight up, I think, with the chances of expansions on every tier, I guess, except tier 3, maybe. Well, if the gold mines run out, then of course you can go to tier 3. Also, you can play it very aggressively with water elemental drops, maybe even double AoE play or something. But we're going to that later, I guess. There we go. I would love to know what's going on in Chaemiko's head right now.
He must be nervous. Unless he's like in total control of his emotions. He must be feeling nervous right here. He knows it's his worst matchup. He knows how outclassed he is on paper. He knows he's only one step away from dropping out. Maybe, though, he is viewing this as, you know, from the underdog's perspective.
Yes.
From an expectation standpoint, he has nothing to prove. Nobody expects him to win here. So he can, you know, play without pressure on his shoulders. Infi, he may feel some pressure, but the way I know Infi, he's too confident really to be afraid or anything here.
He's the Iceman! But if he loses 2 maps, then he's melting. This is it! This is the first match of the last set of the day. Infi, spawning in blue in the upper left, coming from China, representing Clan RW. He was losing to 1-0 playing Orc. This is the second set that he plays as human. So far with this race, he hasn't lost a match. Chaemiko on the other side lost to 1-0 as well. No shame in that. And then defeated Hunter to stand in the lower bracket final here. There's no question what this first hero will be. It's gonna be an Archmage. Like, everything else would be a crazy strategic thing from a player. The question is, how aggressive do you play? Where do you get your level 3? How do you get your level 3? How do you position yourself on the map? And especially in this matchup, mercenary camps.
Yeah. It's all about the Shadow Priests early. You want to have them, of course, for the dispel against the Water Elements, and you want to keep them alive. If you can go keep them alive and have like 3 Shadow Priests at one point, and then go into an engagement with 2 Shadow Priests advantage, that's a massive deal. Of course, keeping them alive is difficult. They're very squishy. Archmage, especially if he has boots, has an easy time running them down. The speed at which you creep here is also kind of important, because if you go for Merc Camp into Green Camp into Natural, that's level 3, and then move across the map, you can pressure your opponent. With that, you will force response from your opponent's side by, you know, calling Militia and so on, which may come at the cost of peasant lives, or at the very least, lumber. So, yeah, speed of creeping is going to be important. Fully scouting early on, gonna try to be a little bit annoying as well against the peasants in the main. And here we go. Anything but the Merc Camp first would be a massive surprise.
Chaemiko beat Infi once before. They're 7-1 in series. That was in December 2017, so it's not that long ago. So it's not like it's guaranteed that Infi is winning. There is a small chance. Do we see any Shadow Priest being stolen? Doesn't seem like it. Infi is getting his one. Also, Talisman of Evasion, not the best item for him. On the other side, Pendant of Energy. Good start for the Korean. One additional Water Elemental.
Alright, then first bit of luck, which Chaemiko may need to have to win this match. Footy's still in the main, harassing, forcing a bit of lumber, forcing some militia, being annoying. No peasant, of course, should die to this. At the moment, the creeping speed here seems to be the same between the two players. Very, very mirrored match indeed so far.
So Chaemiko's not skipping the Arcane Tower. I like that. I think it's way too greedy to do that, because then the base is open to Water Elemental drops. The Archmage goes to a farm, spawns a Water Elemental, it drops inside your base and can attack the peasants. Seemingly easy. Infi is not doing that as well. We do see a corpse there.
Yeah, he lost a peasant to this puny little footy harass. That shouldn't happen.
Medal of Honor for this guy.
Sometimes it does. Exactly.
Yeah, was most likely still hurt from creeping, sent back, and Chaemiko used that time to kill it off. And yeah, this is interesting now. Creep or expansion? We see 3 militia by Chaemiko, so this is most likely only the creep, and then he's gonna send it back, but it's an easy way to get level 3. For Infi, we don't really know how many there are. He's not able to steal the Berserker from Chaemiko, so creeping is sped up. And Ring of Protection here, alright. No Berserker for Infi, right? He's sending his militia back as well.
And the reason you want to call militia here is you don't want to use water elementals if you don't have to. You want to save your mana, because when you're aggressive, when you actually go to the fights, that's when you want to have all these water elementals. So
another kill by Chaemiko there, by the way. So Footman down.
All right, good start for him. Tech for him just started, and yeah, Infi. Where's all his resources?
It's a
He's
pretty good
way lower on resources. Did he go for boots or something? Yeah, he did. Alright, he went for the boots, so now his Archmage is very speedy. Needs to find some pickoffs here with these boots, it feels to me.
Here's the first little clash, of course. Chaemiko, with this additional Water Elemental, should have the upper hand with the additional Footman as well. But the Shadow Priest is out of mana, so it's not that important for the spell. But of course, you don't want to give it to your opponent. Nice micro so forward. With the boots, he can run him down, and that should be the guaranteed kill for Infi.
Alright, and if he can keep his Shadow Priest alive, that could be very, very good in a later engagement.
Especially with a Brilliance Aura, like he gets mana back quite quickly, so that's an additional dispel.
Exactly. The creep camp, though, did go to Chaemiko. More experience for him. 3.5 now, and yeah, the Berserkers, both of them still alive for Infi.
Speaking of experience, Infi has been at every single GCS. First one he won, second one he ended up 4th place, then he was eliminated in the quarterfinal, and last time, then he won the silver medal, and then he dropped out in the group stage, which was a major surprise. Actually, a silver medal was a huge surprise as well. For Chaemiko, it's his first one, his second offline appearance ever, so that's clearly an advantage for Infi.
Right in the middle, we have the next engagement here. He's running down the Shadow Priest again, and these boots of speed, Neo, I don't know if I've ever told you before, but I'm a really big fan of boots of speed. Look at the kill! Here's another one for him. Unfortunate end snare onto his Berserker makes it so that Infi loses this one, but that was a return kill. He got the other Berserker. So far, better trade in the middle for Infi, saving a lot of his footy's signature Infi style.
Absolutely. He has a 5 supply advantage now after, what is it, 7 minutes, 6 minutes maybe? Well, that's pretty good. And he wins the fight for the camp in the middle. Not the big item yet, though. And, alright, Chaemiko is there with his Footman, with defense and not catch too much damage. Level 4 already. Big advantage with a level 2 Brilliance Aura.
He stole the last hit with his Water Elemental there. And that was a big last hit to steal. His Shadow Priest still alive. Very good micro, always reacting quickly once his Shadow Priests or mercenaries in general get focused. Footies, yes, you would like to keep him alive, but they are going to be rotated out later anyways. And this is the hero of the patch. The first time we see him today, but I'm pretty sure not the last time we see him in this tournament. The Alchemist, one of the biggest recipient of buffs in 1.29.
Why is that, Remo?
That is because, well, movement speed first of all, but that goes for a lot of heroes. But the heal spray, that's the big deal. It no longer heals foes, enemies. It only heals allies, you yourself and your allies. and that makes the spell a hell of a lot better than it was before.
Infi is not going for the Alchemist. He decides to go for the Mountain King. A big and long relationship between the two. Single target damage and area of effect damage with Thunderbolt and Clap. Not Thunderbolt.
Stormbolt.
Stormbolt, I'm sorry.
That's what the kids call it nowadays.
It's kind of the same, right?
So, the early hero from the tavern oftentimes will mean you grab map control. Maybe you can steal a creep camp with that. Maybe you can steal an item with that. Maybe you can kill some units with that. But Alchemist, not really known as a great assassin, as a great executor, but of course, he has been purchased for the healing. Lots of militia coming from the main.
The big weakness about the Alchemist is, by the way, how squishy he is. Like, 1 armor point only. But Chaemiko found a Ring of Protection, and of course, knowing that he wants to go for an Alchemist, he saved that one. So he's at 3 now.
That's 3 times as good as 1, isn't it, Neo?
That is absolutely correct. We will never do math on stream, but that was pretty good.
So, the really nice thing about the neutral hero here on Echo is you can secure the Ogre Magi, but no! Actually, the Archmage is allowed to go over there and steal the item. It was only a 1 of mana stealing. He didn't get the experience, but it's a lot of gold if he wants to sell that item. And the Alchemist, oh, not surrounded! A little mess up there by Infi. There was supposed to be a surround. Heal Spray cancelled by the Stormbolt. Can he get this kill? Lots of HP though on this Alchemist and 3 armor points as well. He has more Heal Spray to use here. Militia duration still for Infi, no longer the case for Chaemiko. Stormbolt again against the Heal Spray. Can he keep him alive? He's level 2. He has Acid Bomb now. TP transferred, healing again, but he will have to TP out of this.
That was quite close. About to lose maybe his most important hero. It's debatable at least. But Infi is winning this engagement. Chaemiko is 1 supply up, though. He has to heal, and he has to use a lot of resources to heal now. Breakers are coming. Priest Dispel upgrade is finishing now, so Water Elementals can be dispelled. Life gets a lot easier. Alchemist, not too much mana anymore. And the Mountain King reactions by Infi, man, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that Heal Spray is too fast to be able to cancel with the Stormbolt, but I was proven wrong by Infi once more.
Alchemist's positioning could have perhaps been a little bit better. Of course, he found himself in almost surround at the very beginning. But if you keep him behind the front line, maybe that heal spray is going to be a little bit more effective. Again, Alchemist way far forward, too far forward if you ask me. Or was that a bit of a bait? He's dropping lower and lower. And again, the footy blocks. This time it is from the Chinese player, from Infi. And this Alchemist will not be getting out. The Stormbolt secures the kill.
Gets so much mana, man. Unbelievable. He still has 1 Stormbolt to work with, and now without the second hero, this looks really, really grim for Chaemiko. He's dropping in supply, has no healing anymore, and there's still like this overwhelming force of Infi.
Doesn't he have any militia anymore? He's so close to his main, but I guess he lost all the peasants earlier, perhaps. Oh no, they're creating an expansion in the south, aren't they?
Yep,
There's something red on the minimap. We see it pointed out here.
Maybe just a tower, but most likely an expansion. Very unfortunate timing. Infi was just pushing in, and with all his experience, of course, he knows what a big investment by Chaemiko. Maybe the one trick that he had up his sleeve, this thing that he thought that Infi wouldn't anticipate, but oh boy, did he do, and he's canceling it, and all the time and all the resources down the drain.
And that was expensive, guys. The power build, of course, costs a lot of resources. Level almost 5 Archmage, though. Only 1 more kill required. He is pretty far ahead of his opponent here with that. And dispelling Water Torrents takes a lot of mana. Maybe the priest won't have enough to actually do that. Alchemist should be coming back soon.
It was level 2. That does take some time. I think Mountain King went to the shop. Shop control, of course, important. If you get Invo Potions here, if you get Heal Scrolls, that's so big. Because your opponent can't with only 1 shop on this very map.
Oh,
he didn't get anything. No, he didn't.
Supply-wise, both players here pretty even, but the force looks so much bigger for Infi. Of course, the Alchemist still being missing. Militia called finally again for Chaemiko. He's level 5 now. Doesn't have too much mana, but it should be good enough for at least 1 Water Elemental. But the militia support here is going to be a big advantage. It still hasn't reached the army here for the Korean. The first priest is going to be taken out quickly. No heal spray yet. MK, though, also out of mana. Can't do too much here without Stormbolt.
Acid Bomb. Mountain King dropping low, but there's no follow-up damage. There's no disable. Finally, militia coming from the main. Can he get some more kills here? Can he get the Alchemist to 3, out-leveling the MK?
Still fairly far away, but he's gonna take out a couple more here, targets, to get more experience. Where are the water torrents? He just doesn't have enough mana for him, not at the moment anyways.
He has 20, he needs 25 more. He does have Brilliance Aura too, so Infi is right to run away here. Acid Bomb again, a little bit damage over time, and minus armor, which is the bigger thing here in an area of effect as well.
I really like the late game Shadow Priest addition as well by Infi. He knows how powerful these water elementals can be, and if you dispel the water torrent twice, then he's almost dead already.
Well, Mountain King gets to level 3, isn't he?
Should be enough.
Yep.
Yes.
Archmage still not 5 though, super close. Archmage has a water torrent now. 45 average damage, 900 HP, one of the best summons in the game. He's not using it yet. The Alchemist under pressure once again. The Mountain King is on the chase, but the hammer doesn't fall.
Needs to burn him. Needs to make use of these breakers. Alchemist, what's he doing? He actually retrains to Blizzard. The Alchemist died there towards the edge of the screen. He stole the mana with a one-off mana stealing, which I heard can sometimes be a very good item. And with the Alchemist having fallen once again. And Blizzard, I mean, you're in an all-out Breaker Wars. Is Blizzard really the right call? Especially against an MK? Maybe it was desperation. It's looking rough now for Chaemiko. His Archmage thinking about harassing Infi's main, but no, he decides otherwise. He's running back now once again, but Infi is on the chase. He's looking for more targets, looking for more kills.
He's pushing for the map win. And what does Chaemiko have left? Only 49 supply. Okay, both have that, but a lot of that is stuck in production. A lot of that is stuck in the altar. He has a few breakers, and that's about it. No money, as it seems, to buy him back from the tavern, which of course then he would spawn without mana, which is not the ideal thing. Snipes on the priest. There's not too many priests anymore, so yes, he does have a good amount of breakers, but look at the amount of priests that Infi has. So much healing, so much dispel.
And somehow this Blizzard doesn't even seem too powerful. As you mentioned, so much healing here to heal through the AoE. Archmage in a bad position, but there is a TP should he find himself in a surround here for Infi. He is level 5, water torrents are very strong, and there's just not the required amount of priests on the field to dispel against these.
I totally agree. He's trying to hurt the priest in the back, but Infi, pretty good micro there. The Blizzard falls, he's moving the priest back, the priest healed himself up to full HP. Now the Alchemist is back with a little bit of healing. But this is so over.
It looks desperate. Looks beyond desperate. Is he gonna find himself in a surround again? Yes, he does. And there's no getting out of this one. Almost getting denied by his Blizzard from his ally, from his buddy, the Archmage. It's GG, and the 1-0 for Infi.
The Alchemist was supposed to be the hero of this tournament, was supposed to be the hero of this matchup, but boy did he get wrecked by the Mountain King. Superb storm bolts, great timings, surrounds when he could, killed him twice. Bye bye Alki.
Really well done also by Infi. Like, you have to consider Infi's tech was later and he had the normal hero instead of Tavern hero disadvantage, and he still managed to get the Ogre Magi's item, which really isn't supposed to be allowed.
And we saw how impactful this went of mana stealing was when the Mountain King was able to drain the mana, use a Stormbolt, kill the Alchemist, win the fight in the middle, and then, like, pick the ball and run.
And I don't know, shouldn't he have... Like, of course, the marketplace, the engagement there is very understandable. You have the Tavern hero advantage. You want to get that neutral creep in the middle. But after that, don't you want to fall back? Don't you want to extend the game? Move away from footies, go into breakers, because in Breaker Wars, Alchemist should be better, shouldn't he?
Yes, I think so too. I mean, Clap doesn't affect the breakers. It's very rare that you have the chance with the Mountain King to go around the breakers and use Clap and the Priest or something. Of course, you can snipe, but with a nerf of Stormbolt, you don't one-shot them anymore. So I totally agree. But I think at that point, like, especially when he tried to Expo, and it was like, got wrecked.
That was so greedy, man. Like, there was, what, 500 gold into that expansion. Could have had unit/items instead, and could have had militia support when he was being pressured there.
Yeah.
That was, well, Hail Mary play. Maybe we can call it that. I don't know. Infi, though, showing his strength, and, well, the streak keeps on going in the same direction, and it's not in Chaemiko's favor.
Yeah, it's just insane how one of the most one-sided stats in all of Warcraft, Infi, or humans in general, versus Chaemiko. He seems to be, yeah, I mean, he expected this, I guess. Chaemiko, a little thoughtful. What can I do now? The maps has been chosen. We don't know it yet, though. But it was just, I mean, the game was quite close actually. It was just a few decisions that Infi did better. We go to Amazonia.
And I must say I'm surprised that Chaemiko is playing a more standard, the more meta strat, because when he played in the last couple of Rust Brain qualifiers, he always played that tier 3 stuff. It really didn't work. Maybe that's why he decided to move away from that, but he has been playing that for a long, long time. Now he's trying Breaker Wars. First time didn't succeed too well, but I don't know. Still probably his best chance to win this series.
I think I've never seen a Chaemiko game on Amazonia where he's not going for tier 3. Or at least it's very, very rare. I think a chance for tier 3 is pretty high now. On a small map, which is kind of, I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, level 3 Archmage should be pretty reliable here. Maybe he hopes that that hero by himself can carry him to tier 3. Or is he gonna go Breakers once again?
That's the question that will be answered on Amazonia. Will the streak of Infi go to a 5-0 in series? Will it be 17-2 in the past 3 years against this guy, against Chaemiko? The Korean is starting in the upper right in red. The Chinese, who has the lead in blue in the bottom. This is Infi. This is not one of the top favorites here this year, but always up for something. So far, we have seen 4 times 2-0. Will the streak be a 5-0 afterwards as well?
It very well might be. So, AZ is kind of interesting in the early game. Like, I think the only map where in the human mirror, the humans don't rush to the Merc camp. It's so far out of the way. If you go for militia support, it takes forever to get back into the main. And if you don't go for militia support, it's really hard to take off that creep camp. There's 2 enforcers there. They can take a lot of damage and also deal a lot of damage. And if you get creep jack there, that's danger, danger. So actually, perhaps we're not going to see too much Merc camp support here early on at all. Maybe rush to level 3 as quickly as you can and then move towards your opponent's base and try to be aggressive. That we didn't see at all yet.
Nope, I agree.
Usually in the human mirror, we see one player being faster, trying to, you know, go for peasants, try to harass during the tier 2 tech. That was not the case so far.
Maybe we see it this time, because I haven't seen a tower in Infi's base yet. Chaemiko will scout this soon. He's going for an arcane tower. So this might delay his tech a little bit, but it's the way safer thing to do compared to what Infi is seemingly doing at the moment. We check. Okay, don't see a towers yet. On Amazonia, level 2 is basically guaranteed. You creep the laboratory, you creep one of the small priests on the right side, and then you get it. Once Infi was called I need claws, because claws increase the damage of an archmage by 25%. It's pretty good. I don't think we saw one. Alright.
No.
The big gloves are circled. Gloves here. And a little bit of HP for Chaemiko.
Lightning Shield creeping here was pretty well utilized by Chaemiko, making this a little bit faster. At least he should be a little bit faster. And there is the level 2 slippers as well. Would be
circle is good.
Would be the nuts for a demon slash blade master. Cloak does sometimes find its uses, but not very likely to be too impactful. Tier 2 tech, of course, is what we have to look out for. Who's going to be faster? Who's going to be able to get that second hero more quickly, along with the priests. Creep route so far is mirrored. And yeah, it's going to be a rush to level 3, and then maybe the aggressive move across the map.
With the exception of the GCS April race, Infi this year has not been eliminated in group stages, which is a pretty big improvement towards last year. Chaemiko was a little unlucky, but of course he's not that top tier player that Infi is. When evolution, good for scouting, good for tanking creeps. This is the normal creep route, but Infi seems to be aware. A lot of poisoned and hurt workers here. Time to capitalize.
Exactly, and he can pop it. Oh my god, this could be so many kills. And Chaemiko took the long way around. Infi ran straight through the middle, so he's in the base first. And this is one of the most stressful situations as a player, and also kind of as a caster, because there's two things going on at the same time. Have fun, cameraman, as well. Who has the better multitasking here? Who can do more damage? Who can prevent more damage? Losing, yes, the arcade. That's not a good start for Chaemiko.
Hell no, this will spiral completely out of control. No Arcane Tower in the base anymore. More mana for Infi, I guess. The Arcane Tower for the Chinese is still up. And look at this, the health bars, they're basically non-existent for most of what Chaemiko has. He's calling to arms, no mining has been done. The game of chicken has been won by Infi. Chaemiko is almost losing another footman there. But man, this was so much echo damage. The Water Elemental is still raging on.
He's going to keep on pressuring. He has 4 healthy footmen still, kind of the same as the case for both players. And now actually the Cloak of Shadows may come into play here, as the Archmage for Chaemiko is dropping lower and lower. Couldn't pop that Water Elemental into the main. Slight mistake. That one could have had a field day. Oh, nice surround by Chaemiko. And with a move like that, suddenly you can get rid of the pressure.
The moves like Chaemiko. The Archmage survives, but oh boy, would I love to compare the gold mines now. To see the difference, man. Holy cow. Infi is mining since like the town portal at least. He didn't call to arms if I'm not mistaken. So this should be a 300 gold advantage plus the tower plus a few more kills.
Yeah, and the tech has started for the Chinese. Chaemiko still not. The replenishment which you found earlier coming in really nicely here. Archmage is duking it out.
Or should be cancelled. This is boots, right?
Yeah. Needs them to get away. Kind of close to level 4. We'll have another Water Elemental here for the defense, and most importantly, the Arcane Tower in his main still standing. And Chaemiko, he needs to rebut here. He needs to do some counter damage.
Yeah, there's no shop, so he can't heal at the moment. It's exactly the right thing of Chaemiko to counterattack.
And Footy's being traded here. Pretty freely. Militia coming in to help. Good micro by Infi, sending them back early enough. So they soak up a bit of damage, but they all survive. Shop in the back. That region scroll is going to have amazing value. Tech for him, 40% done. And here, look at this, the cloak has some use.
He has a staff. I wonder what he's doing with that. I mean, he can't step into the base, then he's trapped. Oh, the shop in the back is so...
Oh, the region's going to be so good.
Damn good, yes.
And yeah, about half a tech ahead. That's such a massive advantage. If Infi was to go for a Panda second on tier 2, he can apply so much pressure. Or even with an Alchemist. Use your footies for damage, obviously, and the Alchemist backup for the heal. I would really like to see a neutral hero by Infi this time around. Of course, we have Observer Vision. It's easy for us to say. We see all of what's going on. Is Infi aware how far ahead in tech he is?
Stutter stepping, good damage onto the opponent's Archmage here. Infi is pulling all the right strings. Water Elemental dropped, but there's not too much to pick up with the... Okay, he gets 1 kill, 2 kills maybe. And that's good, because of course in tech you can't reproduce the workers. That's nice. But yeah, thanks to the Arcane, and level 4 for Infi as well. Level 2 Brilliance Aura, boys and girls. This is way more mana for Infi now. And since there's no fight, this will like accumulate until the next fight, and then he has like one more Water Elemental.
And gonna be so nice for any second hero he chooses. Alright, towards the tavern we go. Doesn't seem to be an MK this time around.
I think Panda.
I would like to see the Panda. Run straight past it. Doesn't wanna take a sip. He actually does go MK, really?
Wow, okay, didn't expect that.
I thought this was such a great opportunity for a neutral hero. Yeah. But alright.
He knows better, man. One of the best human mirrors.
I don't know. I'm pretty knowledgeable about humans, so I'm not so sure you're right there.
Oh, man.
Alright, into the main we go again. No Panda to back up this aggression, but still lots of pressure being put onto Chaemiko. The Arcane Tower is gonna die again. Deja vu of the very early stages. More experience for him. Zeppelin now being purchased up.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
But expensive as well.
Yeah, 240 gold.
And call to arms again. He's losing more mining time. Archmage is so under pressure that the Zeppelin has to help out. Level 4 finally for him. Can Infi save a lot of those footmen? Nice surrounding the Water Elemental. That gives him more experience. The second good surround of the game.
And like that attack didn't do too much.
Nope.
He killed the Arcane. but he lost 2 footies for it. He maybe got a footy of his own or a peasant, something. But if he had spent his time creeping closer to level 5, maybe that would have been better. But it did buy time for his MK to come out, I guess, who is here now. And with the Stormbolt, he can certainly find a lot of kills here.
Welcome MC Hammer to the battlefield. As you said, so easy to pick off units with that. And it is again an Alchemist for Chaemiko. Last time he had the upper hand because the Alchemist arrived earlier and then he wanted to win that fight. But again, Infi is just, for years and years and years, he's doing exactly that, and nobody seems to find a solution against that, except maybe TA.
And once again, Chaemiko deciding to put pressure on of his own instead of defending at home. And oh my god, this is so expensive. He's losing so much. And Infi, he's only going to lose the altar. Very unlikely that he's going to lose a hero in this scenario. Sorceress is even coming out now. He knows there's no Dispel. He knows there's no Breakers. These slows are going to be so good.
He evacuates every single worker from the main. Chaemiko gives up his Echo, and so it's all-out war here. The Town Hall will fall. How much damage can he do in the base? Is this a base race now? Of course, he has a big lead, I guess.
There's no TP for Chaemiko.
Nope.
He can just kill the main building and then TP home. This seems to be an easy victory for Infi, or can Chaemiko still do something about this? Call to arms now being used in Infi's main as well. Lots of these peasants are dying, but it's okay because across the map the main building is falling further and further low in HP. Lots of footies here still, so Chaemiko's force is still fairly respectable.
With Blizzard, man, this would be maybe possible, but Infi is going home. I wonder, okay, this main build is gone. We go home to defend. Is it enough though? Lost so many corpses here, man. It would be a fest for the necromancers.
And other brilliants are coming in for the casters as well. Gonna benefit so much from this.
The heal spray was nice there against the Archmage, saving it, and now the Zeppelin play to find a better position behind the buildings. I kind of like what Chaemiko is doing here. Can he actually win this without a Town Hall?
MK though, still lots of mana to use. Call to arms once again.
Everything is so hurt.
The heals and the slows are really coming into effect right now.
Yeah. Everything is dropping. Look, everything is red for Chaemiko. He wants to seize the moment. He wants to seize his moment on the big stage. But I think his days are numbered. And once the hero falls, it's going to be the end. Stormbolt hits. Follow-up damage is there. Level up. Level 5. GG. The favorites prevail. The 5th 2-0 in Group A. And he follows 1-0 to the playoffs on Saturday and Sunday.
Alright, on our first day of GCS Summer 2018, we have no upsets. The biggest surprise, perhaps, Infi playing Orc, but some people even predicted that one. Shout out to Chaco, who was calling this. Yeah, first place for 1-0, second place for Infi. This could come into effect later, depending like on who makes it out of the other groups.
Infi will face the winner of another group. 1-0 will face the runner-up of another group. And who's that gonna be? We will determine that in the next 3 days of group stage. Every day, awesome Warcraft action here. But yeah, what makes Infi so strong in the mirror, and what makes Chaemiko lose to that all the time?
I think game number 2 was a like super typical human mirror. The guy who attacks the main first has the big advantage, and just everything seemed to spiral out of control there.
But the big difference there was also Infi was able to kill the Arcane Tower in mere seconds,
yeah.
And the one of Infi was still up in his base, and he repaired against that, so it was up the entire time. This Arcane Tower made such a big difference. And then, of course, it was a slaughter in the base without the Arcane Tower. I mean, from that moment on, there was not too much that Chaemiko can do. Look at this 900 gold difference in 11 minutes. That's ridiculous. Lumber as well,
yeah.
A little bit.
And Chaemiko's, what is it now? 10% win rate against human.
Well, it's
keeps on dipping.
It's a 40. It was a 40% win rate before, which is absolutely horrendous on pro level.
Against the very best humans, it's looking very, very grim.
Looking forward to present to you TBC's win rate tomorrow, by the way. Just teasing that.
Yeah, because tomorrow we're gonna be continuing, because this was the last game of today. 2-0s only. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna have closer games to our hand. Group B is gonna be coming up. Same starting time again tomorrow. Who do we have in Group B, Neo?
Good that you ask, Remo, because that group is pretty awesome. Our Russian participant Hawk is stepping in the ring first. He will face the ultimate weapon of 2018 Warcraft 3. It's gonna be a match versus Lin. And then the 5th race is in this group as well. Moon versus TBCBM. Once again, we have 2 big favorites and we have 2 underdogs. But I think the underdog tomorrow has a way better chance. We will talk about that later. This was Group A. Infi defeating Hunter 2-0. 1-2-0 defeating Chaemiko 2-0. Then Infi was defeated as an orc by 1-2-0. The former world champ making it into the playoffs. And then you saw it. Hunter losing to Chaemiko and Chaemiko losing to Infi. This is it. We start with Lin versus Hawk. Follow it up by Moon versus TBC. And then winner bracket final, lower bracket semifinal, lower bracket final. At least 5 hours of Warcraft action tomorrow.
Yep. With perfect race distribution as well. 1 of each. As you said, 2 favorites and 2 underdogs. But also not as clear-cut as it was today. Hawk is the underdog, yes. But I would say he has better chances, much better chances than Chaemiko.
I agree. Against Lin, it's going to be insanely hard. I don't really think he stands a chance against Lin, but there's always a possibility. Like, if he gets good maps or good drops, like Terna Stand, Book of the Dead, Twisted Meadows, Tome of Experience or something. So that's always possible. And I think against Moon, he can win. I'm pretty sure. This was it. Day number 1 from Shanghai. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning, but I hope we fixed most of it. The sound should be fine. I hope you enjoy the coverage by Ugri on Twitter, who provides you with photos. We do that as well on our Instagram with a lot of stories and maybe some live action later today. I don't know what the plan is, actually. Whew, it was a pretty exhausting day with like stressed out from the technical stuff. But it was worth it, man. It's a decent day 1. And we thank Inceptium for the 4-month resub. And once again, Shiva for the host. I hope you enjoy Shanghai as well. So,
that's it.
I think that's
for today.
For today. The
first day of a total of 6 days, our World Championship will continue tomorrow. Room for improvement, I would say, in the games of the group stage so far, but that is what can happen when, you know, there are such big favorites in a group. Tomorrow, I think we're going to have closer games. I think we're going to have more interesting games. Looking really forward to it. Hawk has proven against Foggy already that he is up for a surprise, that we cannot count him out even if he is the underdog. Going to be a tougher task even tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Our social media is filled with extra content. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. All the links are underneath the stream. If you like what you see, then feel free to support us. You can subscribe here on Twitch. Then you get the replay packs and no advertisements anymore. You can donate, buy our merchandise, or buy stuff via the Amazon referral link. I think that's it. There's a big thread on Reddit. Feel free to post your feedback. We would love to do that. If there's something wrong, please tell us. Then we can improve and make this better. Tomorrow we have some time throughout the day. And if you want something like interviews, have special questions, just throw it at us. This was Back to Warcraft from Shanghai. See you tomorrow, 5 p.m.